Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here, continuing to cook up this NBA action, man. Y'all know we do on the jam session. We cook up every single game, every single day. Off another really good day yesterday here on the jam session, man. We started the season off on the right foot, and we're just trying to keep the momentum rolling forward. Unfortunately, we dropped our NBA Player of the Day again yesterday. That shit is so frustrating, man. Like, yeah, I can't even put into words how frustrating that is. We went 3-1 on sides yesterday, and the one we loved the most, the one we had the most money on, was, of course, the one that lost. We had the Sacramento Kings outright on the money line. They had a nice lead late in that basketball game. They got a good look up to win it. It rattled out. Keegan Murray couldn't put it through. Timberwolves survived and won the basketball game. It happens. It happens. We'll get back on track and win it tonight and dominate the weekend. Again, though, it's been a really good start to the season for us here on the jam session, though. We had a good night on props again last night, 3-1 overall on sides. So let's keep the momentum rolling forward, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue to see the board well. Let's continue to kick the crap out of the books, and let's continue to do what we do, man. It's a money-making Friday, one of my favorite days of the week. It's really a good day for you to hop on a long-term pass, man. Hop on a 3-day pass and get everything that I'm offering for the weekend. All my NBA. We got a huge card tonight, huge card tomorrow, decent card on Sunday. Of course, we got college football tomorrow, NFL this weekend. So when you hop on that 3-day pass, you get every single play that I release, every single sport for the duration of the package that you got, man. So hop on one of those, man. Let's kick the crap out of the books this weekend. Let's keep the momentum rolling forward. A nice 10-game card today. Y'all know the drill, man. I'm finna cook it up and try to smash it per usual. I appreciate y'all for watching. Smash that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as I always say, man, I'm active on Instagram and Twitter all day long. There's a link for both in the description below. And, of course, I have premium plays over at the site, man. Money Making Friday. Let's do what we do. Let's continue to kick the crap out of the books. Let's make some money tonight. Let's hop right into tonight's NBA action. All right, ladies and gentlemen. First game of the day, we got the Orlando Magic at home at the crib with the Brooklyn Nets rolling into town. Magic, 11.5-point home favorites. Short, sweet, simple. Lay the points here with Orlando. I see no reason not to. Y'all know we were betting the Magic blindly last season. They were one of our favorite money-making teams. They were cashing like nobody's business, and this is the spot, too, as home favorites. They were 22-6 as home favorites ATS last season. That was by far the league best. The Nets were 11-19 as away underdogs against the number last season, one of the league's worst. When I look at who these two teams are right now, currently, I think the Magic are a bona fide playoff team in the Eastern Conference. And I think the Brooklyn Nets may be the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Matchup-wise, I think the defensive tenacity that Orlando brings to the table really will cause a team like Brooklyn issues. Cam Thomas probably is likely to have a bad game. So everything I look at here tells me Orlando should ball out here at home, at the crib, home opener. You know the Magic fans are going to be pumped up because this is a team that actually has some hype surrounding them. And I like what I'm seeing. I see no reason not to lay the points here. Give me Orlando, first game of the night. They should take Brooklyn behind the woodshed. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up, we're in Toronto. We're the Raptors. They're home dogs with the Philadelphia 76ers coming into town. Philly laying 5.5 here in this one. I'll be short in this one. Not a game I'm rushing to the window to bet in any stretch of the imagination. Forced to pick the game, I would lean towards Philadelphia laying the points. I think just looking at who these two teams are currently on the floor, Philadelphia is head and shoulders a better basketball team. But it's really laying 5.5 points on the road, another country with a team missing their two best players, somewhere I have to be early in the season. Nah, not at all. Reason I do lean in that direction is the Raptors looked terrible in their first game of the season against Cleveland. Like, I really didn't take much of anything from that game for the Raptors. If anything, it just was really discouraging. I probably won't be betting Toronto much of any this season. They're mainly going to be a fade. And one of the aspects I really like about Toronto is their roster depth, but look at their injury report already this early in the season. It's ugly. So Sixers are the better basketball team. Sixers should win this game fairly comfortably. It's just not a game I'm rushing to the window to bet. Line is really right where it probably should be. Total-wise, I lean under 219.5. I know both teams gave up points in their first games of the season, but offensively, I don't think either one of these teams comes in and lights up the scoreboard tonight. So under 219.5 is the way I would lean towards the total. People ask me, they say, Jay, why don't you do more totals? I hate the way they make me watch the game is the answer to that question. I'm going to try to do more this season. We'll see how that shapes out, but that's why I don't do more totals. I just hate the way they make me watch the game. But anyways, lean towards the under in this one. Small lean on Philadelphia, but as of right now, 9 times out of 10, probably not betting this one tonight. Let's keep it rolling. We're in Cleveland, where the Cavs are double-digit favorites over the Detroit Pistons. Cleveland laying 10.5 here in this one. Cleveland, them boys put belt to ass in their first game of the season as they took the Raptors behind the woodshed up in Toronto. The vibes in Cleveland are high right now. They got a new head coach, Kenny Atkinson, over there. I like their defensive tenacity in that first game. Really shut down everything Toronto was trying to do. And offensively, they did look good. This is a team that pretty much returns everybody. They had chemistry issues last season, but replacing the head coach, they felt like was the move that would kind of restore things. So we'll see if that is the case here for Cleveland as the season progresses. Speaking of them having a new head coach, their head coach from last season is now the head coach of the Detroit Pistons in JB Bickerstaff. So something to look at here in this game. I definitely think Cleveland is head and shoulders a better basketball team. There's a reason they're double-digit favorites. But in all honesty, I'm grabbing the points with Detroit. I believe it's the right play. I like the way Detroit played in their first game of the season, especially early in that game against Indiana. They did fall short in the end and failed to cover, but Indiana is still one of the best teams in the East. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals a year ago and still coming into this season, in my opinion, underrated and undervalued. But we ain't talking about them right now. Detroit, there were some things I seen in that game one that I think if they continue to build on those things, they're going to be a tough team to beat. They're going to be much better than they were a season ago. So 10.5 I think is just too many. I don't think Cleveland is really late 10.5 style team. They're a good team. They are the better team, but I wouldn't be surprised if JB Bickerstaff, their head coach from a season ago, had a decent enough game plan to keep his Pistons in this basketball game, keep it competitive. Pistons improved over the offseason. The book is still out on if Cleveland improved and by how much. I think right now they're still a little overrated, a little overvalued, and I think the Pistons still a little underrated. Bad teams don't know they're bad really earlier in the season or how bad they are. So I think they still come out and hoop. They're not tanking currently. I think the Pistons play this game competitive. I want the points in my back pocket here in this one. Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it rolling. We're in Atlanta. We're the Atlanta Hawks, man. They're 5.5-point home favorites over the Charlotte Hornets. Look, a season ago, we were fading Atlanta blindly. They finished the season as the worst ATS team in basketball. I think they were like 29-54 against the number. Full season last season, they were terrible. They were a fade machine. We printed money fading Atlanta. And really, until they give me a reason not to think they're that same team, we're going to continue to do so. We're just going to blindly fade Atlanta until they show us not to. Charlotte, I like what I saw from them in their first game of the season. On the road against a really good home team in the Houston Rockets, they won that game outright. Fought tooth and nail all the way to the end and pulled it out. The Charlotte Hornets team's improved this season. The main thing about it is they're healthy. They're healthy. They have their star player, LaMelo Ball, in the fold playing well. Miles Bridges is back from suspension. And another thing, they have a really good collective of role guys over there in Charlotte, something they haven't really had in quite some time. Guys like Grant Williams, Josh Green, Trey Mann, Mr. Swag. But yeah, I like what Charlotte's doing right now. And in all honesty, I think they have a very legitimate chance to win this game outright. I'm going to take them outright on the money line tonight. They won 3 of the 4 games against the Hawks last season. The Hawks are overrated, overvalued per usual. They did win their first game of the season. It was against Brooklyn, though. We talked about Brooklyn already on this episode, and I told you I think they're the worst team in the East. Atlanta was the worst ATS team in basketball last season. There was no team you made more money fading, and I see no reason not to just continue to do that early in the season. So give me the Hornets plus the points in this one, and also give me Hornets outright on the money line, as I think they're underrated, undervalued right now at this current point in the season. Let's keep it pushing, man. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up, We're in Madison Square Garden, where the New York Knicks are 4.5 point favorites over the Indiana Pacers. Total around 226.5. I'm on Indiana outright on the money line and plus the points in this one. By what metric and when? Somebody tell me when the Knicks became better than the Pacers. I'll wait. The Pacers, do we forget we're in the Eastern Conference Finals a season ago? Were the Knicks there? No, they were not. The season series last season, these two teams played each other 3 times. You know who won that? The Indiana Pacers. With the last meeting being in New York, and it was a dominant Pacers win. The Knicks really didn't show me much of anything in their first game of the season. Granted, it was against the best team in the league, in the Boston Celtics, but still, how it looks matters to me. And I didn't necessarily love what I seen from the Knicks in that first game. Based on who these teams are right now, currently, in my opinion, the Pacers are still the better basketball team. The Pacers coming into the season are still criminally underrated and undervalued. The Pacers have one of the best offenses the league has ever seen. And that's by the numbers. That's not opinionated. That's truth. That's a fact. You can go look that up. That's who the Pacers are. And the Knicks, the book is still out on who this team is going to be this season. I think they're majorly overrated right now, majorly overvalued. I think all the value is on the team who pretty much brought back the exact same team from a season ago that was one of the best offenses in the league, that won the season series against this very team they're playing tonight. You know, again, the team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals. Not overcomplicating this one, man. Give me the better team plus the points. And, of course, we all know I love attacking value, attacking plus money. Have to attack it here with the Indiana Pacers. Next game up, we're in Houston, where the Rockets are laying 3.5 on the Memphis Grizzlies. Total 223.5. I'm on the Houston Rockets in this one. I'm going to lay the points with these boys. Bounce back game at home, at the crib for them. I trust Houston at home, at the crib. I know we faded them in the first game of the season. I just thought the value on an underrated, undervalued Hornets team, a team that many people don't have their eyes on, was there. In this game, I think the line is exactly where it should be, and I trust the Rockets to get this done. Remember, a season ago, we were betting the Rockets at home blindly. For good reason, though. As home favorites, the Houston Rockets last year were 14-5-1. We were printing money with Houston as home favorites last season, and I trust them in this spot. It's a better matchup for them against the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis, we faded them in their first game as well. We didn't get the money. They didn't cover on the road against the Jazz, but they did win the game. We had Jazz outright on the money line in that spot. The Grizzlies are going to be improved this season as well. But I think right now, coming into the season, people just think they're immediately going to be who they were last when John Moran was in the fold. That's not who they're going to be. At least early in the season, it's going to take some time for these Grizzlies to kind of get all the way back there. They're still dealing with some injuries as well. I do see some injuries for the Rockets as well. Steven Adams won't play. Dylan Brooks and Cam Whitmore are game-time decisions, so keep an eye on that. Jaren Jackson also is questionable game-time decision for the Grizzlies, so a lot of little injuries going on throughout this game, just trying to give y'all as much information as possible. What I like here, though, is like I said a second ago, I like the Rockets. I trust them at home, at the crib, as home favorites. It was one of our favorite money-making spots last season. I still don't trust the Grizzlies in the grand scheme of things on the road. We know who the Grizzlies are. When they play at home, at the crib, in Memphis, that's where they usually do a lot of damage and where we really don't fade them boys. Especially with Ja Wick back in the fold. But for right now, after Houston already coming off a loss, I think they lock in here at home and win this game and cover the number. No need for me to really buck the trend. We already did it early in the season. I think they return to who they are, and that's a really, really, really good money-making home team. Give me Houston. I'll lay it here in this one. Let's keep it rolling. We're in Milwaukee, where the Bucks are laying 9.5 on the Bulls, man. Total around 234.5. I'll be short in this one. I lean towards Milwaukee. A game I'm not rushing to bet, though. Milwaukee is head and shoulders the better basketball team. This Bulls team, young team. You know, some games are going to show up and play well. Other games are going to get taken way behind the woodshed. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a game the Bucks, a motivated team, a veteran team, a team that had a disappointing end to last season, came out here at home and put belt to ass. This is a Milwaukee Bucks team with one of the best players in the entire world, Giannis Antetokounmpo, whose season ended tragically due to injury basically last season. Damian Lillard, a guard who has been a first team all pro guard that got traded away last season to a new team, and they didn't do what everybody thought they were going to do. Like, these are the style guys and players that take the shit personal and actually come out and try to prove to the world. You get what I'm saying? I hope y'all get what I'm saying. Like, in the grand scheme of things, laying 9.5 with Milwaukee is not what I'm trying to do. It's not a premium style bet for me. The back door 9 times out of 10 is wide open in this spot, but I'm not even looking in the direction of the Bulls. Hopefully Milwaukee comes out here and does what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to win this game by like 13, 14 plus. So lean in the direction of Milwaukee. Personally, I might not pull the trigger on betting it because it's not a premium style bet in my opinion. Next game up, we got the Golden State Warriors out on the road facing the Utah Jazz. Jazz, 3.5-point home dogs in this game. It's a tough one. This is a really tough one. The Warriors, these boys have won 5 straight over the Utah Jazz. They won all 4 meetings last season, and they've won 7 of the last 8 meetings over Utah. Y'all know we love betting Utah in Utah. Utah got a cover in their first game of the season. Lowry marketing, man. They didn't win outright. We had a money line that day, but they did get the cover in that game. And last season, y'all know the Jazz were a really good home cover team, but we also know the Warriors were a really good road cover team. So just makes this a really tough game in my opinion. I'm still questioning who the Warriors are going to be minus Klay Thompson. I know they look good in their first game of the season, but in my opinion, they played the worst team in the NBA in the Portland Trail Blazers. So not really a whole lot to take from that game. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to take the Jazz. I'm going to take them plus the 3.5. I'm probably going to take them just plus the 3.5 this time. I had a money line the other day, got bit in the ass. I don't want to do that again, and at least not with the Jazz right now currently. I'm just going to grab my points. The Warriors, I think, in a vacuum, are the better basketball team. There's a reason they're favored on the road, but this game may be similar to how that last one played out, where this one just comes right down to the wire. And we're getting over a bucket with the point spread right now, which I think is really valuable. So I want to attack that money line. I probably will put in 2 bets, bet the money line as well, but I think the Jazz plus the 3.5 is the right way to look in this game. I know that the Warriors low-key own this team, but if the Jazz were to stand up, it would be right now, early in the season, when the Warriors still trying to figure out who they are going to be this season, and it would be at home with the Jazz where they play their best basketball. So give me Utah plus the 3.5 here in this one. Let's keep it rolling. We got a really good one up next. We're in Los Angeles, where the Los Angeles Lakers are 1.5-point home favorites over the Phoenix Suns. Both teams open their season off with wins. Lakers beat the Timberwolves at home at the crib in LA, and the Suns beat the Clippers on the road in LA. So should be an interesting game. Both teams come into this season with new schemes, new head coaches. The Lakers, of course, have head coach J.J. Redick, and the Suns, I forget who it is off the top of my head that fast, but they have a new head coach, basically new scheme as well. I'm taking the Lakers in this one. I've told everybody that has listened. I'm expecting the Lakers to be much improved this season. They actually have a head coach that's going to draw up some plays, that's going to help them situationally, that understands the game of basketball from a cerebral level. Darvin Ham, I didn't feel like that's who he was. Darvin Ham was more of a motivator. You got to think about who these two guys were as basketball players. Darvin Ham was more of a energy, rebound, brute strength, energy, and effort style of player. J.J. Redick, he was a shooter, meaning coach was drawing plays for him to get open, things like that. An analytics guy, a guy that after the game probably goes home and spends 10 hours looking at the film and how we could have attacked this better. Like, they have one of those guys as head coaches of the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think he drastically improved this team. Some of you may not be buying what I'm saying, but I'm telling y'all, I'm thinking the Lakers are going to be much better this season. The Lakers have been good the last couple seasons. Their kryptonite in the playoffs has just been the Denver Nuggets. If they can avoid them this season, they may do a little damage. We got to see. We got to see. But I'm buying what I'm seeing from the Lakers right now. I think Anthony Davis is poised to have a monster season. I like what I saw from him in game one and in the preseason. And if we continue to see those same things, the Lakers are going to be hard to beat. They're going to be hard to beat. The chemistry is starting to rise as this team, its core, has been together for a little minute. I still don't trust the Suns. I still don't necessarily trust the Suns. I think they need time to gel and become who they're going to be. They still need to address the point guard issue. We talked about that last episode. Right now, today, I think the Los Angeles Lakers are the better basketball team, and I think they win this game outright. Is all I'm saying. I think the best player on the floor tonight is Anthony Davis. I think the second best player on the floor is LeBron James. The next three go to the Suns, but I think LeBron and AD are the best two players on the floor tonight, and I think they pull this one out. So I'm not overcomplicating it. It's a tough game. The line's 1.5 for a reason. These are two good teams. They're going to be in the postseason with veteran guys that have been there, done that for a really long time. But I give the small edge to the Lakers because I still don't think people understand that they're going to be much better and improve this season. So that's just my thoughts on it. I know I kind of yapped in this one. It'd be like that sometimes. Give me the Lakers. I'll lay the 1.5. Last and final game of the night, man. We got the Portland Trail Blazers getting 5.5 at home at the crib. New Orleans rolling into town. Y'all have heard me say it plenty of times. I think Portland is the worst team in the league. They're terrible, and they're just a fade. Short, sweet, simple. Give me the Pelicans. I'll lay the points in this one. I believe Zion's back for this one. Same old Pelicans, though. It's who they're going to be this season. You know, they're going to look really good at times, like they can go on a deep run, and then there's going to be times where they're just completely injury-riddled. That's who the Pelicans are, so no need to really overcomplicate it. They're already missing DeJounte Murray, who probably broke his hand. Zion missed game one. Pelicans in mid-season form. I do believe they're head and shoulders a better basketball team in this one, though. They should kick the crap out of Portland. They better kick the crap out of Portland. That's how I see it. No real reason for me to even look in the direction of the worst team in the league, in my opinion. Give me New Orleans here in our last and final game of the night. All right. Let's get to some of y'all's favorite part of the show. Cashing props with Jay, man. We're 10-2 on props to start the season. Went 3-1 yesterday. The only one we didn't hit was Jason Tatum over 28.5. He had 25 points. Didn't play the entire fourth quarter. Happens sometimes, man. It happens. Other than that, really good night for us. We had our first official prop play of the season yesterday over at Pickdawgz Premium. We ended up rolling with Klay Thompson over his points total, and he got it done, man. So 1-0 official on the season on our player props, and 10-2 here on the gem session. So let's keep it rolling, man. Let's keep the momentum rolling forward. I got 4 for y'all tonight. First one, Scotty Barnes over 22.5. I know his first game of the season, he looked terrible. He only had, 9 points? It was a really bad game. Cleveland, though, is a good defensive team. They had a really good game plan for him. I think tonight he has a much better and improved night, and he gets his points up. He's their main scoring option. He's definitely going to get the shot attempts. It's just about, does he sink them? Does he make them? And I think tonight, he does. Philadelphia defensively, missing, Joel Embiid, missing Paul George, basically the two best defenders. I think leaves them a little weak defensively. I think Scotty Barnes can do enough to get his. Give me him over his points total, especially because of how bad he played in his first game of the season. Next up, we got Cam Thomas under 25.5 points. I know Cam Thomas is a volume shooter. This is not going to be a fun one to be sitting there watching because he's a shot chunker. So that means he's going to take a lot of shots tonight. It's just a matter of, does he hit them or not? I think he does not hit them because of the defensive tenacity of the Orlando Magic. The Magic have a lot of good perimeter guards and people that they can throw at him that will cause him to struggle in this basketball game. So for the Nets, I think it's going to have to be somebody other than Cam Thomas scoring the scoring load because the Magic, one of their best aspects of their team is their perimeter defense. And I think they're going to have little old Cam Thomas in a box tonight, man. Lock him up. Give me Cam Thomas under his 25.5 points. Lauri Markkanen over 23.5 points. I think that's the weakness of this Golden State team. That's been the weakness of this Golden State team. We know they like to play small ball. The Jazz, a team that like to get it inside, though. Lauri Markkanen, he low-key has a mismatch down there with Draymond. It's just a matter of does he work out? Marketing, underrated player in this league, has been underrated for quite some time. I love watching Marketing hoop. I think he comes out here, does what he does, gets his numbers, and gives his team a legitimate chance to win this game outright. Of course, we already talked about that, but I like Marketing to come out here, handle business, get his points, just be that paint masher that he is, mid-paint facilitator. I like Marketing's game. I think he has a solid one tonight against the Warriors, who really don't have the perimeter defense to stop what he likes to do best, in my opinion. So give me Marketing over 23.5 points. And last but not least, Anthony Davis over 24.5 points. In this new look J.J. Redick offense that the Lakers are running, Anthony Davis is the hub. He's the hub, man. He's going to get some threes up. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more. They're going to ask him to play make a lot more. And he's also going to be able to attack whoever gets that ball, guarding him a lot more this season. This Lakers team, more so than any other season, is going to be ran through Anthony Davis. We saw him stay healthy last season. That was really our biggest concern about Anthony Davis last couple seasons, his health. We've called him street clothes Anthony Davis. So that's what Chuck calls him, and we just stole it and continue to call him that. But right now, I like what I've seen from him. I like what I've seen from him in preseason. I like what I saw from him in game one. And in a game like tonight, where I think he is the mismatch, the Suns, who know play a smaller five sometimes, even still, when they do play bigger, I don't think Nurkic can guard him. I think this is the Anthony Davis game. I think he goes off. May low-key go for 30. Give me Anthony Davis over his points total for our last and final prop of the night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and that's going to conclude this episode of my NBA Jam Session. As always, I appreciate y'all tuning in and watching this video more than y'all know. Money Making Friday. Let's continue to kick the crap out of the books. We've had a really great start to the season, man. Let's keep the momentum rolling forward. We just broke down all 10 games on the card. I gave y'all some props that I like. Let's continue to beat the crap out of the books, man. That's what we do here on the Jam Session all season long. Of course, I have premium plays over at the site. You can hop on that 3-day pass and get everything that I got all weekend, every sport. And, yeah, man, let's continue to do what we do. I appreciate y'all more than y'all know. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm out of here. Peace.